I'm Simmons from Forest Camping Equipment. Now the people who know our clamshell rooftop tent have realised that we include part of the tent is a flexible solar panel. This is a 90-watt panel which runs the inbuilt power system. Now I've also been asked, how did you install it to the tent? Is it safe? Have you got airflow underneath it? Can you tell us a little bit more about it? So I thought we'd run this video to assist people when you're installing a rooftop tent or the caravan, any type of vehicle, a solar panel to it. When we did our research, we found that there's been quite a few failures with solar panels attached to vehicles. So I contacted Henkel, which most people would know, one of their brands is Loctite. Now they came out, looked at the tent, took the panel away and did a fair bit of research on the different adhesives to work out what was the best. What they came up with was the Teroson product, the MS 9220, and this works fantastic, and we've been trying it in the field, and I can tell you now it's one of the best products I've ever seen. We're not sponsored by them, we buy the product, but we wanted a product that I knew when our tents went out that the panel is not going to come off. So if you're looking at a product, like anything though, it has to be prepared. You've got to obviously clean the surfaces and before you actually start. Now with this product, they use this in automotive industry on cars, putting panels, fixing panels, caravans, and it's used extensively in the industry, not something that's been really common to the marketplace. Some places around the world you might be able to get it. It's not that easy to come by. We do sell it on our Forest website. Obviously it depends where you live in the world. If you contact Henkel, they will let you know where you can buy it. They don't sell it direct, but they'll let you know a supplier. It's not cheap, depends which country you're in, but it's a very, very good product. You will use a fair bit. To a panel, you'll use at least half to 3/4 of a tube, if done properly. Now, what we have got, we've got obviously the adhesive. We have the adhesive. We have the IPA. You'll need also, these are nylon washers. Gives that couple of mil gap underneath the panel. I'll show you how I actually set it up and how I do our tents. Now the first thing I need to do is get my glasses so I can see when measuring the position of the solar panel. Now, just so I like to mention as well, now this is a flexible solar panel. We actually call them semi-flexible, and the reason we call them semi-flexible, most panels on the market are semi-flexible. They're called flexible, but they have a degree of flexibility. Not many you can bend right round. It may do it, but you'll start to damage the actual panels itself. So when you're looking at solar panels and flexible solar panels, just bear in mind, be careful. Most of them are just a semi-flexible. They've got some flex in it that you can take some curvature, but they're not designed to go right around, most of them anyway. So what I'll do is position it in roughly where I think it's going to be. It's very important to have your positioning correct with some tape to mark it. With this adhesive, the Henkel adhesive, once you put it down, it's down. You can't move it around, so you want to get it right the first time. Although the guys from the lab in Melbourne, their technicians, say that it takes 24 hours plus to really start to bond. Once it's on, it's on. What they do suggest is if you put it on your van, rooftop tent, that you don't use it straight away. Give it a couple of days to really bond to that properly, because it does. So as it's curing, it just keeps on getting stronger and stronger. Look, next day we could use this, but I would wait, obviously, a day or two before any of our tents went out onto the market. Because our tents are fabricated in China and Australia, it's no real big deal for us, because this is one of the first things we do. Then by the time we put the roof racks and do other fabricating, there's a few days gap anyway. But just bear in mind, if you was putting it on a vehicle, don't use it that day, or give it at least 48 hours to be fully set before you're going to start doing 100, 110 k's up the road. Now, I've marked the position that I want our panel to go. So what I'll do now is I'll clean it. You can buy this at most places, Bunnings, most hardwares will have it. They'll have big bottles, small bottles. We actually buy it in larger container and decanter into the small spray, so it's easy to use. Now this was 100%. Most of them will be 99, 100%. You want that type of product to clean it properly. It's funny, when they were doing all their testing on these panels, you would think, how does that make a difference with it bonding? But without preparation, there was actually quite a difference on how it bonded. So, and these are all clean items. The only thing with our rooftop tents is that it does actually have a 2-pack weatherproof coating sprayed on the top, so it's actually quite coarse surface when you touch it, to the extent that some rags we find very hard to even clean it. So that's all you need to do. With the adhesive, the way to actually apply it is in rows this way, around about 100 to 150 mil gap between each row. And then I'll show you with the washers what we do to that to get it off the actual surface and airflow underneath, couple mil airflow. Now, I've noticed people on YouTube, they seal around it with a little gap. You don't need to do it. If anything, actually, although water with this adhesive, it doesn't hurt it at all. But what you don't want it is to pool and sit against it and sit in there for long periods of time, because it will affect it. Otherwise, water, rain does not worry it. Now you want to keep it fairly thick, so we've trimmed the end off to give it a nice thick spread of adhesive. that's used that much adhesive, so there's plenty there. Now the next step is the nylon washers. These are just M8 washers, and what we want to do is place them. Now you really should be using, or it's better to use some gloves. Because what I'll do is I end up getting black over my hands. Now you could even make them even, each one. You could stagger it a little bit. I'll try to just vary it a little bit, but it's up to the individual what they like to do. Should use gloves. Got a little bit on my hands, but they'll be right. I'll clean this stuff. So that's done. The next step is to turn it over and position it. Now in our case, we need it to go this way. Before I drop it completely, I'm just lining it all up. Before I put any pressure, I'll just check my measurements to make sure it's exactly where I want. At this stage, we've still got a little bit of, we can move it a little bit. Now that's right. So what I need to do is actually we're going to press down, just gently. Our little nylon washers will take up the height we want. You don't need weight on it overnight, nothing like that. It will just take itself. It will take up nicely. Now if you're applying these on a bit of a curve, you might want to tape down the ends, just hold in the position, but because we're on a nice flat surface, it works well. So that's it. That's all it's required. If you have any questions at all, just put a message down below and I'm happy to get back to you. Also, you can contact us through Forest Camping Equipment. Just Google www.forest1000.com. That's our website. We're happy to help you out, guide you, in whatever way we can. So thank you for watching and hope this has helped. I'm Simmons from Forest Camping Equipment. Thank you.